Sup, y'all? Bringing you guys another video. So just bring you guys my post-fight thoughts of the fight between Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. Man, where do I start with this fight? Um, First things first, the event was fun, man. I gotta say, man, it was definitely worth the pay-per-view. In my opinion, at least I felt like I was entertained throughout the whole entire card, from the beginning to the end. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. And this fight between Woodley and Jake Paul, it was a fun fight as well. No knockout, nobody got knocked down. Well, there was one that was arguably a knockdown when Woodley landed a big punch on Jake Paul, and the ropes kind of held him up. You can definitely argue that could have been a knockdown, or the referee could have called that a knockdown, but the referee decided not to for whatever reason. And yeah, fight ended up going the distance. It was scheduled for 8 rounds. It went the whole 8 rounds, and Jake Paul won the fight by split decision. Two judges had it in favor of Jake Paul, 77-75, 78-74 in favor of Jake. One judge had it in favor of Woodley, 77-75. I thought Jake clearly won this fight. I'm going to be completely honest. I only gave 2 rounds to Woodley, but that's just me. I could see you arguing 3 rounds. I don't know about giving Woodley the fight, to be honest, because I don't know how you could score that fight for Woodley. Jake Paul did a very good job moving around the ring, using the jab. I mean, you can tell obviously the lack of skill from both guys, but you know, Jake Paul had decent enough boxing skills to win those rounds by going downstairs, upstairs, by being more of the active fighter, by moving around, using effective movement, effectively dodging those punches, using jab, following up with his punches, following up with there was one big right hand that he landed, and whew, Woodley took it pretty well, man. I gotta give props to Woodley's chin, but yeah, I thought Woodley won just 2 rounds, but that's just me. With this win, Jake Paul improves to 4-0, 3 wins coming by way of knockout TKO. First time going past 2 rounds, and not bad if you ask me. For his 4th pro fight going 8 rounds, that's not bad. Even professional boxers, even boxers who moving up in the ranks, they don't really go 8 rounds in their first 4 fights. Heck, they normally start off scheduled 4 rounds in the beginning, and then they slowly move up in weight. I mean, they slowly move up in the amount of rounds they get scheduled for, 4, 6, 8. But Jake Paul, on the other hand, he started off with 6 when he fought Anderson Gibb, and 6 when he fought Nate Robinson, and his last 2 fights against 2 former MMA guys, Ben Askren and Tyron Woodley, going 8 rounds. I mean, scheduled for 8 rounds, and going 8 with Tyron Woodley. Gotta give props to Jake, man. I feel like people should realize that he does have decent boxing skills, especially for a guy who's only been boxing for 3 years. It's not so bad. A lot of people say he can't box, this and that, but for a guy who's only been boxing for 3 years and only has 4 professional fights, heck, there are much worse fighters out there. I've been following the sport for more than 10 years now, and there are definitely fighters out there who are way worse than Jake Paul, and who have fought more fights than Jake Paul, but they're definitely way worse. The only difference is that Jake Paul is obviously an influencer who has more following, this and that. But, Jake Paul, people should realize that Jake Paul can definitely fight. He can, at the very least, box. And, Tyron Woodley, first pro fight as a boxer, ends up losing. He thinks he won. I don't think so. He wants a rematch. Do we really want to see a rematch? I don't want to see a rematch. I feel like Jake won this comfortably. Well, I shouldn't say comfortably, but because he definitely took some big shots, and you can tell that this was at least arguably a competitive fight. I'll give that much, but that's mainly due to, I feel like, Jake Paul's lack of experience and stamina. Him not going 8 rounds, I feel like he never experienced that before. So, but you gotta give him a lot of props for going 8 rounds. But yeah, a rematch, I don't know, man. I don't really want to see it. I mean, after the fight, during the post-fight interview, Jake Paul was like, if you get that tattoo, definitely a rematch. I mean, Tyron Woodley was getting paid 4 times, from what I've read and heard. He's getting paid 4 times more than he's ever gotten paid fighting in the UFC for this fight. So obviously, another fight would give him another big paycheck, bigger than what he's ever made, fighting in the UFC. So who knows if we'll ever? I guess if the demand is there, but on the other hand, I don't really want to see it. I haven't really seen how other people are reacting to it, but to me, no rematch, in my opinion. If you guys remember, Jake Paul actually created a hit list of who he wants next as a boxer. You know, who he wants to fight next. He obviously fought Tyron Woodley. He already defeated Gibb, Ben Askren, Nate Robinson. He mentioned names like Canelo, Nate Diaz, Kamaru Usman, Timmy Fury, Conor McGregor, KSI, Gervonta Davis, Logan Paul, question mark. The Conor McGregor fight actually interests me. I would mind seeing that. Obviously, KSI hopefully sometime down the line. But I think KSI knows he would get his ass whooped at this point. I think he does. I think KSI would definitely get his ass whooped by Jake Paul. Nate Diaz maybe. Canelo never gonna happen. But you know that would definitely make big money. I mean, these are all money fights for Jake Paul. And whoever he ends up fighting, I'll honestly be watching. I think it will be an entertaining event like this one. I thought the whole entire event was entertaining, in my opinion. So yeah, um, yeah, it was fun. It was a fun night, great night of boxing, in my opinion. I know a lot of people will still continue to hate on Jake Paul, this and that, say this about him, that he's hurting the sport of boxing, that he's not good for boxing, this and that. But in the end, we're here talking about it, right? A lot of people got exposed to the sport of boxing because of him. And hopefully the fighters who fought in the undercard, hopefully they gained more fans fighting in this card. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you. One more thing. I wonder how much pay-per-view this sold. Jake Paul in the end saying that this was the second highest pay-per-view of the year, right behind Mayweather versus Logan Paul. But honestly, I think this event actually might have done better. I think. I mean, looking at how people are reacting, like during the event, how people are tweeting on social media, it might actually done better, in my opinion, more than Mayweather, Logan Paul. But we'll see. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like always, have a great day. All right. Thanks.